welcome to the Mostly PodOutatNight. Mostly, I am Gregor, joined by my co-host Salem. It's here. It's finally here. Episode 200. We laughed, we cried, we ate some really delicious Korean barbecue.
We did. It was an experience.
It was, and well worth it. Easily. Like I said, I've been looking it up now. I even went back to the wife. She's like, those meatballs, the bulgogi meatballs. Yeah, that's just the sauce name. It's not.
Right. There's nothing to do with this.
Correct. But yeah, we're here. So, as we celebrate this milestone for us, we also celebrate America's 250th and maybe last year of existence, the way things are going. But we'll be looking at some patriotic horror movies, patriotic, all in air quotes there, with not what you think, because we're not doing The Purge right now, because we're living it. Instead, we were doing Uncle Sam from 1996, The Bay 2012, and Dark Skies 2013. And you had seen none of these, correct?
No. I thought I was on the fence. I might have seen Dark Skies, but no.
Okay. Well, hey, at least two of them were good-ish.
I remember seeing the previews for Dark Skies, and I was like, oh, Alien Home Invasion? No, thanks.
I know that is one of your worries.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, maybe next year we'll do the Purge franchise. 4th of July.
How many are there now?
At least 5 in a TV show.
Well, one of them is essentially a Punisher movie.
Correct.
So I think that was what the third one is. The third one the Punisher movie? Or no, it's the second one.
Yeah, second one.
Yeah, I think it's the second one.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's kick it off with easily the worst one of tonight's episode, Uncle Sam from 1996. And if you think 90s sci-fi horror, this is right up your alley. If you think like Jack Frost or Head of the Class, yeah, it's kind of the same vein.
It's not good. I'll preface it with that. Like it was a hard time trying to keep focused on this film. Like I kept wanting to walk away. It's that good.
Yeah. So, we start off. We have in the Gulf War a soldier that seems to be killed in a helicopter crash, but it's also still alive, I guess, and murders people. And they say 4 years have passed since he was reported MIA. I don't think it's been 4 years in the movie.
Well, okay. If you find a dead body, like you don't hold on to it for 4 years.
Correct.
And then ship it back. And if you did, it would not be in the state that his body's in. It would be just like bones and dust. That would be it. And I highly doubt it would just be sitting somewhere. Like when they find a body and they can retrieve the body, they send it back. Like that's it.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, his body is then sent back to, the sisters and sister-in-law's house. And we meet the young boy who, he's talking about this is his Uncle Sam coming back from the Gulf War, roll titles, right? Not, a whole lot necessarily really even happens in this movie. The kid is obsessed with with the army, armed forces, war, stuff like that, because he thought his uncle was this great guy. Lo and behold, he was a piece of shit. His 4-year-old corpse is somehow reanimated. Other than he got like his medals and that brought him back to life, I guess. I don't think they really ever explained it.
There's kind of a scene where the kid was like kind of bullied.
Yeah.
Right? And so he like went home and he was like praying to his Uncle Sam that like he wished he could be more like his Uncle Sam because there's so much like injustice in the world. It was a very not childlike speech.
Correct.
And then while he was giving that speech, they're also showing a bunch of like teenagers partying in the graveyard. And they light an American flag on fire and are like flailing it around. And I guess like the prayer mixed with like this anti-American stuff that like landed in his grave,
Yeah.
somehow triggered him to like come back to life and seek like patriotic vengeance, which is
who knew that was the spell?
right. Well, I'm just saying, like, yeah, like, okay, parts of a flaming flag landed in your grave, but he's not in the grave.
No, he's on display at a house.
Yeah, he's like old school wake inside of a home.
Yeah.
Nowhere near it. And we're, I guess, kind of like shown like, oh, this is going to be the grave he's going to be in. So, but he doesn't know that. The body doesn't know that yet. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I understand this is just the vehicle to get to where they want to be, but it's very confusing. I agree.
It's not a vehicle. It's just like, hate America, you're gonna get murdered.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah, it's essentially what it is. It's like it's patriot porn, more or less.
Yeah. So lo and behold, Uncle Sam does come back to life and starts killing people that are very unpatriotic to this country. Considering he died and like killed people in friendly fire, he's also kind of not patriotic. So, there's that.
Well, okay. Most of the extreme patriotic people are kind of like that. Right? They're kind of going against their own country by being that way. So it kind of tracks.
Yeah. So lo and behold, we just get reasons for people to get killed because we had essentially the kid's teacher, skip the draft. So he ends up dying. Like, so the kids in the graveyard end up dying. Guy gets like hoisted up on a flagpole. But yeah, all this kind of going on here, and then we're gonna have this big 4th of July party at the town, and
well, you cut out the part where there's a guy in an Uncle Sam suit on the stilts that got caught peeping.
Yeah,
and so Uncle Sam murders him because somehow that offends America. And then he tailors that suit to fit him exactly.
Correct. Uncle Sam.
We literally see him like
Sam.
cutting and sewing. Like, I mean, it's not like doesn't happen off screen. It literally does that, and then becomes like quote unquote Uncle Sam.
Right. He dresses Uncle Sam, and he is Uncle Sam, which is bizarre. Two ways to do it, which I'd say both are not necessary. Eventually, we get to a 4th of July party. We see that there's a blind kid in a wheelchair with burn marks who just appears really in the middle of the movie for no reason other than to be friends with our main kid. And Uncle Sam kind of tells him like everything will be okay, and he kind of goes after like the kids that maybe helped blow him partially up.
Yeah, they never say what happened to the kid.
No.
Again, this being 4th of July and a 4th of July themed movie, I'm just gonna go ahead and guess it was fireworks.
Right.
But like they don't explain it, and the only thing we kind of get is like the mom doesn't like the kid, Uncle Sam's nephew. She doesn't say why, and we get kind of an inferred statement later on that like, oh, she should know that you weren't part of that group that did that to him.
Yeah.
So we know that there was other kids that somehow caused that to happen to the kid, and that kid wasn't a part of it, but the mom thinks that he was.
Right. It was just
that's all we get.
Ready to shoehorn PJ Souls into the film.
Right. I mean, that's all we get. I mean, it's kind of like we have to like infer stuff later.
Yeah.
I'm only guessing that it was fireworks because it's a 4th of July themed film, and like,
right.
When you think fireworks, you think of like, ooh, pretty, and ow, my hand. That's
correct.
That's what you think.
Correct. People holding on to Roman candles when they're not supposed to.
Correct.
Yeah. So, like, so all that's going on there. We get like a mayor who's not great. We have, a governor that is played by the awesome cop from Alligator.
Right. And the great part is that he has more hair in this film than he did in Alligator. So
correct.
And the 15 years it's been since Alligator, he somehow went to Turkey and got more hair.
Hell yeah. Turkey's the place. So yeah, then we also have the lovely Isaac Hayes as a also soldier who is there to help the kids by helping him. I mean, he leaves the blind handicapped kid by himself, as most people
Right.
do throughout this film.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I gotta go get the MacGuffin. I'll be right back." And he leaves the wheelchair kid in the front yard while like danger is in the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So eventually, there's a fight between them and Uncle Sam, and they kind of just blow him up, right?
As you do, it's 4th of July.
Yeah. And yeah, after he killed all the unpatriotic people in the town, including the governor, who was essentially burnt alive with fireworks while everyone watched.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh that's pretty much it. That's that. There's not more to it. Don't look for more meaning in this movie. Just it's like don't even watch it, honestly.
Yeah, it's a loose excuse to get to an Uncle Sam slasher,
Mm-hmm.
and then like just a bunch of people doing like dumb, like anti-patriotic things that are either like very basic things that everyone does or like ridiculous. Or sometimes he just murders people just because. Like again, like the Peep and Tom. Like, okay, like yeah, he was wearing an Uncle Sam outfit. Is that why he was wearing Uncle Sam? He's supposed to be like more representative of the America, and by doing that, he's somehow offending America. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. There's very loose interpretations going on.
Or the cop who's trying to rescue the governor, he falls on a hill and just impales him with the flagpole.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I guess because he was trying to boink his ex-wife. Sure.
I don't know. It's like he's obviously doing selfish things, but he's also like trying to say he's only doing it because he's patriotic. I don't know.
Right.
I think it's just this guy came back as a serial killer and he's just that much of an asshole that he wants to kill whoever he wants to kill. And that's fine. He just has like this, very thin motivation of being patriotic.
Right. And the kid learns that his Uncle Sam wasn't the greatest guy. Why he wasn't the greatest guy? They wouldn't say.
Well, okay. Here's how it goes. If your wife if the government comes to tell you, "Oh yeah, we found your husband and he's dead." And she goes, "Okay, is that it?"
Yeah.
Like that was her reaction. Like, okay, like he probably beat her or something. Like he probably did not treat her very well because she was like did not give a shit at all. No one cared. His sister didn't care. His wife did not care. The only one that cared was this kid because again, he saw this idealized version of him.
Mm-hmm.
When he was younger, but everybody else knew he was a dick. So it's
right. Yeah. I'd say that I would say almost molested his sister, right? Because he's like, he's been doing this stuff to me since I was 6. Like, okay, what was he doing?
I don't know. We'll just leave it at he's a bad man.
Yeah, you'd think that like you wouldn't let your kid be around him, period, at that point in time. But
I don't know, man. Back in the day, there was a lot of denial going on.
Yeah,
and sweeping things under the rug.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, these are our first thoughts on this. This movie is, like I said, it's like Mirror 2. It's like Pinocchio's Revenge. It's just like a way to have a new killer that surprisingly did not spawn a franchise. Imagine that.
I mean, if it was better quality, maybe, but it's this is bargain basement quality.
Oh, for sure. Why don't you go first for your highlights?
All right. I think the intro was fun. The kind of Uncle Sam history intro where they show like all the shorts of like, where he kind of started and, like the war bond footage and stuff from like, World War II. And then, like, that was fun. That was interesting. Isaac Hayes being in this movie is kind of funny because he's really phoning it in and it's fine. The alligator guy having more hair I thought was funny. There are a lot of actual G.I. Joes in this, which is fantastic because by 96, the ones that he was playing with had been like out of print for like a decade. So they were worth money even then. And there's a scene where he throws them in the garbage can and sets them on fire, which is upsetting because they were worth money even at that point. Like today, they threw like thousands of dollars in that trash can. That's all I got.
Oh yeah, it's. I said I put flag burning equals zombie. Who knew? Plus, I guess the kid's prayer.
Yeah, again, there's no like lightning coming from the sky to like resurrect Jason here. There's nothing like that. It's just
it's almost as like vague as Maniac Cop coming back.
right. It just
With
like
voodoo.
he just like sits up. Like
Yeah.
I've been dead for 4 years. Somehow I'm still a corpse, but I'm just angry enough to get up.
Yeah, as you said, the cast, Isaac Hayes, the cop from Alligator, and of course PJ Souls, just to be there to be the mom to the kid that no one cares for.
That's right.
That's all I have. I'll go to my low points. It took 37 minutes to Uncle Sam, almost half the film.
I mean, yeah, before he put on the suit, yeah.
I'm saying even before he came back to life, it took a long, like 37 minutes for him to really come back, which is a long time, I think.
Oh, it's a long time for a film that doesn't like give you the information. You know what I mean? Like we said, there's a lot of stuff left out and you have to like infer things, not in the fun way, in the frustrating way.
Right.
Right? Because there's a fun way to do it and there's a frustrating way. This is just like it feels like they just left information out.
Mm-hmm.
Like whoever was writing this would be like, oh, they'll get it. No, I don't.
No. The way he just creepily touches the blind kid's face, he like caresses it and like rubs his ear. Like, no. Okay. The woman that's cooking those ribs, right? She's having to like hack them apart with like a butcher knife. Like
Cleaver,
ribs should not be that cleaver. Ribs should not be that tough. They should be
those
fall
were
off the
beef
bone.
ribs. Those were not pork ribs. They were way too big to be pork ribs.
But they still shouldn't be that tough. So
I'll take your word for it. I'm not a rib guy.
As he's kind of going around, like the guy that's in like the Patriotic race, he goes to like a car graveyard. They're like Model Ts, just sitting there in the 90s.
Big money.
That is a lot. Yeah, between the GI Joes and then like, what money did this film have?
They didn't. They probably just went to like thrift stores.
I guess
grabbed shit.
Yeah, and of course, like I said before, his name is literally Sam. He's literally Uncle Sam. Cool. Why did his name didn't have to be Uncle Sam? It's just been he dresses Uncle Sam. There's no need to add that extra layer to his character.
It gives him legitimacy.
I guess. Like I said, this movie is just beyond bad. What do you have?
Having a wake in your house.
Yeah.
That's weird, man. I mean, I know that's how they used to do it. I'm not trying to say like, oh, dismissing tradition or whatever, but like this is 1996, man. Like having a wake in your house is weird. Again, I've already talked about nobody likes Sam. Only the kid, not even his own wife likes him. The FX and the gore is horrible. It is so bad. It's like bargain basement bad. The acting is horrible. I mean, even the people that we know, Isaac Hayes it's terrible. It's phoned in. It's bad. Uncle Sam, right? He's military. Why does he have long hair?
It grew in those 4 years.
I mean, hair doesn't grow.
Correct.
In 4 years. I know there's the old wives' tale that like your hair grows and your fingernails grow. They don't. It's just your skin settles because you're dead. So it looks like these things are growing, but they don't. But like his hair is long and he looks like a fish man for some reason. Like he literally looks like, Black Lagoon monster.
Those poor contacts too.
Oof. Yeah. His monster voice is so ridiculous. It is dubbed and it's not even dubbed well. It's like they put him in a closet and had him whisper his lines without anyone being around him. So like the people are reacting to something that is not what he's saying, and it just sounds so bad and so fake. It's terrible. Mm-hmm. A cannon is not a flamethrower.
It's not.
Okay, if you fire a cannon, it shoots a big ball and it hits you and hurts you. That's what a cannon does. Sometimes it'll blow up if it's like a exploding cannonball, but no, it was literally like shooting flame, like it was a flamethrower, like throwing flame all over things and just setting them all on fire. That's not how a cannon works.
You expect the person to make the movie about America and military would know that stuff?
I think so. And then of course burning GI Joes. It's blasphemy and it costs you a lot of money, so I don't like that. That's all I got.
All right. Well, our out of this episode are mortars and reports on our 4th of July. So, how many mortars and reports out of 10 do you give Uncle Sam from 1996?
Uh, you know, there's not really anything that I like about this movie. Um, I mean, really, GI Joe's like okay, you get a point. I'm gonna say 1.75.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. You know I love my cheesy movies, but this just doesn't feel the same as the other cheesy movies I love from the same time period.
Well, it's
So,
not even like trying to be like self-aware funny. It's just bad.
correct, correct. So yeah, I'm giving it 2 mortars and reports out of 10. Yeah, it's something I never need to watch again, and it's not something I could ever suggest to anyone to
Yeah, no,
watch.
it's not even a movie I would say watch it for a laugh or watch it if you want to see something. No, it's just avoid it. It's
Yep.
just depressing.
All right. Well, let's forward, uh, 16 years here to The Bay from 2012.
The Bay. So it's a found footage movie. It jumps around quite a bit. I guess I can just give you like the big rundown is there's like a small town on the Atlantic coast.
Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah. So what is that? Massachusetts?
I think they said it's Maine. Yeah.
Whatever. It's in New England somewhere.
Yeah.
So a little town that I guess wasn't doing all that well. So the mayor puts in this big desalination plant to provide a bunch of fresh water to the town. And instead of letting the town use it, he brings in a whole bunch of like chicken farms. And these chicken farms start pumping all of the chicken shit into the ocean.
They're full of GMOs.
Yeah, full of GMOs and steroids and all kinds of things like that. Now, there are also real parasites out there that will like burrow into a fish and like eat its tongue and then become its tongue. And there's nothing fish can do because fish don't have hands. So
Correct.
they can't do anything about it. It's just the parasite they have to live with. Anyway, they have a technical name. They do say it in the movie. I don't know what it is.
Isopods.
Well, that's the generic name. They have like a specific name. Doesn't,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So, the chicken poop in the ocean, these things eat it and become giant versions of themselves and become hyper aggressive. So there are multiple instances of people like getting sick and stuff. There's 2 oceanographers who discovered these things, what they are, what they're doing, and that they're dangerous to people weeks before the events of this film happened. They do have those filmed. They do disperse it between the other kind of vignettes in this movie, showing that they had video evidence of this stuff weeks before and they showed it to the people and everybody ignored it.
Correct. Yeah.
Anyway, so everybody ignored all these warning signs, that these things were coming and bad things were happening. And they have their big 4th of July fair, like town fair. And at the town fair, people start getting crazy sick. They start getting these crazy rashes and boils and stuff. They go to the doctor. The doctor's trying to figure it out. He's working with like the CDC to try to figure out like this is some kind of like epidemic. He's had like, first it was like 30 people, then it was like hundreds of people, and then it was basically the whole freaking town. But it's like these people are showing all these rashes and boils, getting super painful, whatever, and then like literally just dying. And like these monsters are like burrowing out of their body. Like these parasites, whatever they are like eating them from the inside out and then like bursting out. And so we have a bunch of different viewpoints here. We have a viewpoint of like, there was a couple that had rented a boat, down a couple of states and were like driving up to like look at the fireworks along the coast. So they get there kind of after all the shit has gone down. So we get the kind of view of like what the ghost town looks like with all the dead bodies and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We get a viewpoint from a reporter who's like a junior intern reporter who's just like, oh yeah, go do the stupid town fair, right? Like nobody really cares about that. And it turns into this big thing. And she's the only one on the ground because they essentially quarantine the town. She is also the one that has the footage, and she's also the one that's kind of like walking us through it because it's presented as kind of like a documentary of like, here's all the evidence we have of this event that happened that people are trying to hide and pretend like didn't happen.
Right.
So we know that she survives because it's like a couple of years in the future when she's like gathered all this stuff together and she's like presenting it to us as like evidence that this really did happen.
Yeah, they said it's been like 4 years or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, essentially it's just a long thing of like people discovering, these bad things are happening. These people are dying. This pandemic is happening. Nobody knows what it is. And then we find out later on that like, oh, the town did know what it was and ignored it. And they all died anyway. Like the mayor who knew about it is dead. Everybody in the town that knew anything about it is dead. The only one that we know for sure survived is the reporter lady. And I believe the one lady that came in the boat and her kid.
Stephanie and her kid, yeah.
Yeah, those are the only other ones that we know survived. Other than that, it was like a town of like, 6,000 people. And other than that, it seems like almost 6,000 people are dead.
Right, because they said if you swam in it, if you drank it, because everyone's like, oh, I drink water, they get the water from the bay. So regardless of you drinking it or not, you bathe in it and you're able to get these larvae into your system in some way, shape, or form. Even the husband on the boat, went into the water just got into his mouth a little bit, and he got it from there as well. And I'd say the mayor died unceremoniously. Like, he got into a car crash because, the cop, he was there, got shot. He's like, and he died of his injuries off screen.
Right. And it's, like the cops didn't do anything because the cops like found a house where like the people were all infected and they like begged them to kill them. And so he did. And then like his partner also died. And then so the other deputy just like mentally shut down and wouldn't do anything. And so the other guy had to like shoot him. That's why the police didn't do anything. And then it's like they had quarantined the town because the CDC knew that, some kind of epidemic was happening. So they had at least, shut it down. But yeah, it's just, those are like the main kind of viewpoints that we see. But then we get a couple other random, like little, like, oh, these people were, we found this footage later, a month later, washed up on the beach. And it was like one of the earlier things of like a girl and her boyfriend, like swimming in the water and they got infected and died, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just stuff like that. But overall, that's pretty much what happened. And then again, at the end of this, everybody, the government and everybody tried sweeping it under the rug. And then this reporter who survived is taking her footage and all the other footage that she has gathered and presented.
Yeah.
And
that's who? Oh.
Well, to the world, quote unquote, right?
Right.
Because she wants the world to know. And that's what the film is. I don't really think there's much else I need to go into.
Well, the doctor who was trying to treat all this stuff, who eventually got affected, but he was like filming himself through the symptoms to like try to figure out what the hell it was. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I say that he talked to the CDC, and that's right.
Yeah, but yeah, he still filmed himself through the entire process to show, definitive proof of what it was to help stop it from going forward. But CDC's like, yeah, we're good.
Well, the CDC was sincerely trying to figure out what was going on, and they essentially got people at the end. They were like, "Oh yeah, we knew what was going on. We told people, and they didn't want to do anything about it. So then we told these other people they didn't want to do anything about it. They told us to go back to the first people. So we went back to them, and they're like, "Oh, we don't want to do anything about it. We'll go to these other people." And then the other people said, "Don't worry about it." So we did. It's like, wow. So it's like, failed bureaucracy is the reason why nobody did anything. It's because everybody was trying to pass the ball and nobody actually did anything.
Well, yeah, I think they said like they threw a bunch of like pesticides into the water, supposedly to kill them all, and blah blah blah.
Well, they said that's how they like quote unquote fixed it.
Right, but the bay still remains 40% lifeless.
Okay, yeah, right, yeah, that's it.
Yep. Now, I know you had never seen this. I thought I had. I don't think I did, though. but the poster has always looked familiar to me, right? That kind of like that bay, made into the skull. Um, yeah, I don't remember it being found footage, so I was thinking of a completely different movie, apparently.
Yeah, this is a movie that I hadn't heard of, and until I was looking for, I was searching for like July 4th, 4th of July movies, and this one came up because it takes place on 4th of July. Well, this happens. Uncle Sam, of course, also takes place on 4th of July.
Yeah,
The next one, Dark Skies, had the finale of the film happens on the 4th of July.
yeah, yeah. But I'll go first with my highlights. And this is a, there's a budget behind this found footage film, and you can tell because there's a lot of people in it, and that's requires a lot of effort, and they have FX, so you know, pretty high found footage budget for it, but I think it shows. Um, you think it's going to be like some pandemic, some like almost like the crazy type thing. And no, it's a parasite, like an actual parasite that exists, just ramped up.
Yeah, super version, right?
Yeah. Uh, which we'll go and talk about the parasite on the other side here in a bit. Yeah, and I thought the lead, she was good. I think everyone did a decent job as far as acting is concerned in this, for sure. Like I said, it's just an interesting concept to have that piece be in there. But that's what I have. How about you?
Yeah, I liked her, the reporter. Like they show when she's doing the reporting, like at the festival, she's kind of like naive, your typical kind of intern that doesn't really know what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of endearing at first and naive, and then she goes through that, and then like her in the like quote unquote present time presenting this, she's like this kind of like jaded survivor.
Mhm.
It's fun seeing that like transformation like happen in real time. Like she's even like embarrassed watching herself. She's like, I can't believe I was that stupid. But we all feel like that when we watch our old selves.
Yeah.
So that's fun. I mean, the kind of documentary investigation presentation I thought was good. I thought it was done well. I know it's been tried a lot of times, and it's
Mhm.
rarely done well, but I think they did a good job this time. Um, Eco disaster is kind of a slightly different thing. I guess it's kind of like a mini Cloverfield.
Yeah.
Right, instead of being a big monster, it's little monsters. But
Yeah.
it's kind of the same thing. It's I thought it was fun. It's a little bit darker post COVID, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because obviously 2012, they didn't see that coming. So post COVID, it's a little bit different of like seeing like, when that outbreak was first happening, like, you know, nobody was wearing masks. No, nobody was doing anything. Everybody was just sitting in a little room, like right next to each other. And like again, in this post-COVID world, it's like, of course you got infected to each other. That's all I got for high points. Going to my low points here. The
Mhm.
mass puking event,
Yep.
I think, was unnecessary. I don't like watching people puke. I don't like watching a lot of people puke, and that was gross. And they're like mass eating of crabs. Like, okay, like crabs are okay, but like I don't want to watch somebody like gulp down crab
Like a
meat.
hot dog eating contest. Yeah.
Oh, it was gross. I don't know. I'm not from New England. I guess New England people are like that. Again, the blisters, boils, rashes. Oh my, they were gross. The effects were good though. On that part. But overall, I don't want to see that. Ocean roaches is what I'm calling them. They just look like giant cockroaches in the water. No, thank you. They're swimming in like open natural water that's like brown and like opaque. I mean,
Uh-huh.
like they were like in the water and you couldn't even see like an inch into that water. Like that's how gross it was. And they're all like, oh, I got it in my mouth. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like you're in disgusting water. What do you think is gonna happen? And there's some CGI in this movie that I really feel is unnecessary. Like they did a good job with the boils and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's CGI for some of the monsters and stuff. Yeah, you're not gonna have to have little remote control cockroach things. I get that, but like some of it is, I think, unnecessary and excessive. Like the zoom in stuff where you can tell it's like super fake CGI.
Correct.
I think you could have done without that. I think you could have done, a little bit more of like a smoke and mirrors type thing to get away from that. I think it would have presented it a little better. I think the movie's good without that, but I think it could have been a little bit more if they, relaxed the CGI. But I guess this is 2012, so that's all I got.
Yeah, I said there's no need to record vomiting. As it starts happening, she's like, "Are you getting this? No, please don't."
Well, for her, it's exciting.
I guess I don't think I ever sit there with the camera like I need to record someone vomiting. No, I don't. Never need to watch that again. As you said, yeah, the CGI is good for the most part. Like when like you can tell when a CGI, like especially on the CCTV, like he turns his neck, he's like it wasn't there. All of a sudden, boom, it's there, and they zoom in. Like that's clearly just like an image pasted onto his neck. So yeah, the bad CGI was bad when they had it. It was bad. The isopods. I go, okay, so that's a very specific insect that lives in fish, right? You would think if it lives in fish that it would be able to only be able to breathe in water. And that is correct. These isopods that they happen to use are not able to survive outside of the water. They have gills. So how they're surviving in, I know people are wet,
But people
but
are like 75% water, so
outside of the body, no, that's not happening.
well, they're mutants.
I I guess.
They got chicken DNA in them.
Yeah, I said it's just the idea of that. Like, what would you rather have, the insect that replaces your tongue, or the one that goes up your urethra and just like sends out spines and gets stuck
The
there?
dreaded Candiru.
Yeah.
I mean, neither one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just they remind me a lot of the mini clovers off of Cloverfield, and that's how they acted like to you, like you're bit, and then you essentially explode, and they come out of you, which
Yeah,
is crazy. Like, oh, eats your liver. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
for Lizzie Chaplin.
I know. Uh, but that's about all I have. I will go first for number more and reports out of 10. I will give this a solid 7. How about you?
There are a lot of bad found footage movies. There's not a lot of good ones, but I'll say this one was pretty good. I'll give it a 7.75.
7.75.
Yes.
Right. Let's go through then the PG-13 sci-fi alien invasion movie that is Dark Skies from 2013. I had forgotten this was a Blumhouse movie, quite honestly. I'm trying to remember if I saw this in theaters. I might have. But essentially, we are introduced to a family that is going through some money issues. The Carrie Russell, right?
Yep, that's her.
Yeah, yeah. I get her and Renee Russo mixed up in names.
I
uh,
got the Dermots.
yeah, yeah. So she is a realtor, kind of sell houses. The dad is unemployed and is looking for work somewhere. I don't know if we ever get much of a story about it. But
He's an architect. I know that.
architect, yeah, but I'd say bro architect.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's an architect. He's got a portfolio. He's trying to get a job. He apparently was part of an architect team before they got laid off, and he couldn't find another job.
Yeah, yeah,
That's all you need to know.
yeah. So they're having issues, but there's two sons, and they talk to each other every night about the Sandman. If the Sandman comes, he's eat my eyes, blah blah blah. So you can tell that there is they like each other for brothers, and all of a sudden, like one, they wake up and kind of like someone broke into their house and just like destroyed the refrigerator and didn't really take much of anything else. Like, okay, we're to figure out what's going on here. And so like, huh, we need to do something about that. And so they call the alarm company, get the alarm company set up, and they're low on money, just trying to figure out what's going on there. And then they have the alarm go off, and it's like every alarm went off at the same exact time, like all entry points, which is they say, okay, that's a fault in the system. So you can't have someone going through like 8 entry points all at the same time unless it's a big coordinated attack. But they took like all the family pictures.
Right. Did they? I don't know. I don't know if I missed that. Like, I didn't see them like taking it or them missing. I just remember them talking about them being gone.
Yeah, when he looked at the TV and the fireplace, all the pictures were like blanked out. They like removed them all. Yeah. So yeah, essentially we find out that there's more kind of strange occurrences going on here. Like, they have like birds suddenly hit their house and like hundreds of them and killing themselves. And they eventually find out that it's like 3 different swarms of birds all came together just to go there. Like, okay, that's really bizarre. So she kind of starts the mom starts looking into this, like, huh? And she goes down that rabbit, Google rabbit hole. Like, it's aliens. It must be aliens. She has images of like this dark creature, big long creature like her son there who happened to draw. Like, this is really weird. As she's trying to sell the house, she kind of goes in like a catatonic state and like bangs her head, but she didn't think it was real because she woke up. It was like 9 hours later. Like, yeah, her boss like, yeah, you need to take a break. Something's not right there. So doing a little bit more investigation and all the stuff's going on there. Like, dad says like a camera system to try to monitor everything. It has like this weird glitches as things moving from like essentially frame to frame. And eventually they go, it's like, okay, we have to go see an expert. So they find J.K. Simmons, who's like, yeah, this is a common thing. He's like a wall of missing children. It's like, you're already implanted because the dad's been scratching at the back of his ear. He's like, yeah, don't try to dig it out. It just gets further in. So yeah, it's like, yeah, usually, once all this happens, they're like, they take a kid that they've been talking to this entire time, and they think it's the youngest son because he's the one that's been having these strange occurrences. Like, he had, just sat there screaming and then, peed himself. And like, that's weird. He also has the drawings of like essentially an alien on the picture. Like, okay, we need to figure out what's going on there. And I guess the only thing we can really do is try to stop them from taking our son. So they board up the house, they get guns, they get like an aggressive attack dog that's very calm around them.
Right. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, if a dog is aggressive, it doesn't mean that it's aggressive towards aliens only.
Correct.
Like, it's aggressive all the time. But they buy it and it's like the sweetest dog. And they like, it's just laying there on the ground and then the camera goes to it and you can tell they like painted drool on its
Yep.
face. I guess to try to make it look scarier, but it's just like you just a derpy dog with like goopy glycerin dripping from his face, but that's it.
Yeah, they go to the pound like dogs are trying to like ready to eat them. They're like, that's a dog for our children.
Yeah.
No, I think they would be bit for sure. So anyway, this is all going on there, and they, this we get to the 4th of July, like, hey, we can't go see the fireworks, but we can watch it on TV. TV eventually cuts out, and like, uh-oh, and it's here. So we kind of go through like a cat and mouse chase through the house with beings of some sort, and then the oldest son like locks up, and he has these visions that they're able to implant into his head, and he sees like the dad killing the mom and killing himself. Like, this is weird, trying to get to his brother, and it turns out that he's the abducted himself. They were incorrect, and it's been, I think, 6 months later after the oldest son is abducted, and they're going through the stuff moving apartment and starting their own conspiracy board. And they're like, huh, here's old drawings. And I'm like, oh, he was drawing those stuff as aliens. Oh, he was sick all the time, but then never got sick again. Um, and we get like the last kind of scene is like the walkie-talkie going up, and then it's the kid's voice on there. So I don't know if it's because J.K. Simmons says that they sometimes get returned, most of the time they don't. Do you think that is implying that he got returned, or is somehow still contacting them?
They did kind of give you that like J.K. Simmons kind of said, sometimes they come back, but I wouldn't count on that. I think they're just trying to give you hope that he did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, what do I think? I think it's like him found a way to use whatever alien technology they have to somehow tap in to try to communicate.
Mm.
That's what I got. But
Okay.
that's just my thinking. There's absolutely zero evidence to show that. But I think they are implying that he is maybe it came back, and maybe he went back to their old house
Right.
and found the thing or whatever. I don't know.
I mean, how far do you think those walkie-talkies go?
I don't know. Sometimes they go pretty far. Sometimes they go miles. So I don't. Who knows? Are they in the same town? We don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, that's a decent twist because it really leads you to believe that up until that point in time, it's the younger son that was the chosen one, right? And then the twist is, nope, it was the oldest one this entire time.
Yeah, I mean, but there's no way we weren't given any evidence to the contrary. I kind of hate when they do those kind of twists. You know, because like, oh, if you're shown like, oh, look, here's what children draw when they're being chosen by the aliens, and he has that picture, the exact same picture. Okay, right? So like all of these things that they're saying, like, oh, all of these reactions and weird things that he's doing and saying is all because, oh, he's going to be taken by aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So and then they're like at the end, they're like, oh yeah, you'd stopped one, but they were really after the other one. Like there's zero evidence of it.
Right.
Like, yeah, they might have been when he was a kid, but like nothing like recently.
Right.
Right? Like he was off like making out with girls and stuff, and he like wasn't showing any symptoms.
Yep. Yeah. It's just interesting. Like I said, I know the wife, she really enjoys that plot twist because like that's what she leads you to believe. As you point out, though, it's like you're right. You don't get any indication like, oh yeah, he wasn't sick anymore.
Right.
Cool.
It's yeah, like okay, you get, oh, he was sick when he was little, but they don't give you specific information saying like, oh, he's sick and it can sometimes wear off later. No,
Right.
they say like this is a direct, thing of them picking the children, and they make it seem like, oh, they're gonna pick them and take them right away. They don't tell you that, oh, they pick them and then years later decide to come back for them after they mess with their brother. Like that doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like to me, it's a bait and switch. I'm not saying the movie was bad. I'm just saying like that particular twist did not really feel earned.
Right. And why did the parents all of a sudden have the implants behind their ears? It's supposed to years later. So yeah, it's weird. But why don't you go first with your highlights?
Highlights. Let's see. Kerry Russell was good. J.K. Simmons was good. I mean, he didn't show up until like way later in the movie, but his like one scene, it's almost like a cameo.
Yeah.
Because he was one scene, and then at the very end he has like a little scene, and that's it. I think the older brother was a pretty believable awkward teenager.
Yes.
I think he did a pretty decent job with that. The mind control part of it is kind of unique. They don't really go too much into that with most alien stuff. They have like oh, you're frozen and you can't move, but they don't have like they could literally control you and like you don't remember it. They have like a blackout, like, well, what did they do to you during that blackout? But they don't have like, oh, they're controlling you to that blackout. That was a little bit unique-ish, I think. The whole CPS, like the real world consequence of this, is kind of like not an often exposed thing of like, oh yeah, all these bad things are happening, but like everyone around you just thinks you beat your kids. Like they do not like have any sympathy for what you're going through. They're just like, oh, these people beat their kids and they're making up stories to get away from it. Which is bad. And again, like the ending is one, it's bad, and two, the twist is not earned, like I already said. But it's not terrible.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot other worse endings. So I'm kind of like neutral. I kind of put it in the middle of
Okay.
like, it's a bad ending. So like, oh, it's good that it didn't end up in the happy, rosy ending, which is good. But also I felt like the twist really wasn't earned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's all I got for.
Yeah, as you said, the cast was great. Kerry Russell was great. Yeah, it's interesting I said everyone played their part well, and most kid actors aren't necessarily good, but even the older brother did pretty well. Um, I unlike you, I do like alien abduction movies. uh
And if they're done well, I'll
yeah,
enjoy them. Like, I mean, No One Can Save You, I thought was
yeah,
good. It's terrifying. But those are just things that are scary to me. Like when
correct,
I was a kid, those are the things that really scared me.
right.
And again, I think I've said this before, but I had like a sleep paralysis thing where I thought I was like abducted by aliens. So it really kind of triggered me for a while. Years later, I figured out it was just sleep paralysis and I didn't get abducted by aliens. But during that time, I was kind of sensitive about it, and I'm still kind of am, I guess. It never really went away, but
Yeah, you're just concerned ETs and then come into your house and
don't start with that shit. We don't talk about ET.
I know, I know. Like I said, overall, I feel like this movie kind of faded into the background really damn fast, which is
Yeah,
unfortunate.
yeah. I mean, like when we were looking it up, like I don't have any idea what this movie is, but like watching it, I remember seeing previews for it.
Yeah.
Like I remember the scenes from the film that were in the previews. I know I never watched it, but
Hmm.
like I remember the previews being around. Like I know I've seen them at least a couple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one of those movies. After it came out, I totally forgot that it existed. I didn't remember the preview until now.
Which is a shame. Like I said, this is a movie that I think more people should watch for it being a PG-13 horror film. But yes, I do appreciate all that parts of it. That's all I got for my highlights. Roll my low points. Calling the poor kid rat face.
The kid was kind of an asshole.
He he's also like, oh, I touch the boobs of all the girls I go with, and just he's I mean, I don't disagree with the dad. Like, how much older do you think he's supposed to be than the older brother? Like 3 or 4 years?
I don't know. They said years, but he really doesn't seem like he's that much older.
No, but it's always that weird thing that like, as you get older, that gap doesn't really matter. But like, if you're in high school hanging out with a middle schooler, some people just question that.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
you know, the kid screaming and laughing, annoying as hell when the kid peed himself. And watching him awkwardly try to kiss the girl and grab her, and like, God, I do not miss being a teenager.
Well, I think that kind of taps into like a real thing. There's a real kind of thing going on right now where it's like young people, it's way easier for them to watch porn than it is for them to like interact with real people.
Right.
And there's I kind of like multiple generations now that like watch porn and think that's like what is real sexual
Mm-hmm.
encounters are supposed to be. Like they don't understand that this is all like performative, right?
It's
It's
all an
porn.
act.
Yeah, that's an act, but they don't understand that. And there's like, I don't know. I've talked to lots of people that are like, yeah, like what the hell? Like they talk about like the first experiences that they've had, and it's like, what the hell are you doing? And it's like, oh, well, I saw it in porn. I thought that's what everybody did. Like, no, that's not a real thing. Like, don't do that. That's not fun for anybody. But yeah, so a kid watching porn and doing what he sees on porn, thinking that's what sexual interaction is supposed to be. Very believable. That's how the world it really is.
Yeah, but I don't miss that awkwardness of like trying to figure out if you kiss or not. You know?
Yeah, I guess. It was a long time ago, man.
I don't know. But those are my low points. How about you?
Yeah, home invasion aliens. We already talked about that. The whole domestic bliss thing of like, I use that as sarcastically of like, you know, arguing amongst yourselves. It's very annoying to me. Children screaming,
Mhm.
not fun. I thought the younger brother was terrible. The older brother was good. He played a very, very believable, awkward teenager. The younger kid is just a typical bad child actor. Just not good. I think they played him off as kind of autistic, I think because he was that bad at acting.
Yeah.
I really think they just had to frame it that way so that you would believe that he was a normal kid. He was very, very bad. There's a scene where she's reading things on the internet and then prints out entire web pages.
Yeah, that's what old people do.
I'm just saying, like the old people did that, but that's like what they did in like 1999. Like this is 2013. Like nobody did that then.
Yeah, she's in her mid-30s.
Yeah, and there's like the what she picked. Some of the things that she printed out are like literally like exact copies, like exact scans. Um, I don't know. It's bizarre. I didn't like it. And again, we already talked about the aggressive dog. Like, oh, aggressive dog who's barking like crazy, and they bring him home. And he's just laying down. They had to paint drool on his face to make him seem aggressive. He was just a nice dog.
He wasn't aggressive. He was just lonely.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, he was barking at aliens, like literally, like the day they got him. So, whatever. That's all I got.
All right. So, how many Morgan reports out of 10 do you give Dark Skies from 2013?
It's not bad. It's not great. And it's you know what I mean. There's nothing like it. There's no big sale here, right? There's not like oh, this is great. You need to watch it. Not really. I mean, it's decent. There's some good stuff, but it's not in the pantheon. I'm gonna say 6.
6. Yeah, I the wife loves watching this movie. We've seen it, I don't know, half dozen times, maybe a dozen times over the past 13-ish years. It's okay for what it is. Like I said, it seems to be really forgotten. I remember the hype for it, and then it just fizzled out, and nothing came out. Maybe you'd think with everything that's going on with these UAPs and all this crap that maybe it would come back, but it really hasn't. It seems like Blumhouse just kind of like shoved it to the side, said, "Yeah, we're not doing that again."
Well, cult classics makes themselves known within a couple of years after release.
Yeah.
If it hasn't become a cult classic after a couple of years, they pretty much abandon it, and that's usually how things go. I mean, maybe if you like had a family and children, this movie might mean more to you. I mean, I don't have that, so I didn't feel that kinship. Maybe if you do, it hits different. I don't know.
Yeah. But it's rewatchable enough, so I will give this a 7 as well. It's on par with the Bay, I think. Just kind of like forgotten stuff. I feel like most sci-fi or alien horror movies tend to be forgotten for the most part. Like maybe what 5% stick around in people's minds.
Well, they go through phases.
Yeah.
They'll like one will come out and then they'll have like 10 come out. So they like, oh, one was like, oh, that one was kind of interesting. And then like, oh, people like this. Let's make a shit ton of them. And then they get so burnt out that like nobody wants to make them ever again.
Yep.
So like, again, they burnt it out and the early 2010s and they're just now coming back.
Yeah. This is a couple years after Skyline came out, which I know you didn't watch and know about for a long time.
I didn't watch it at all. I had no idea because Skyline 3 has the 3 replacing an E in the name. Okay? Like Mithrigan, right? Is it Megan 3? No, it's just Megan. So I'm like, I thought it was just Skyline, and it was like, oh, if there's a 3 here, it's just like a, whatever. It must mean something as part of the story. And so I started watching 3, and I don't know if you've ever, I know you have, but if anybody else has ever seen it, you start watching 3, and it literally goes through like last time on. Yep. And it like goes through the entire plot of like the first 2 movies and like the first 10 minutes of the film. I'm like watching it, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that those were entire movies that they just explained to me because they had so many different like cut scenes and things. I'm like, there's no way they did all that for like a past, like a flashback. Like this is way too much information for a flashback at the beginning of a film. Like, hold on. So I paused it and looked it up, and yeah, it was the 3rd one. I had no idea that the other 2 even existed.
Yeah.
So,
like I said,
don't put numbers in your titles.
There you go. All right. Anything else to add before we wrap it up?
Nope.
All right. Something is lurking beneath the water. A killing machine unchanged since the dinosaurs. How many alligators can one lake handle before it's too late? We are diving headfirst into the scummy lake waters with the next 2 episodes all about Lake Placid. And yes, we will settle the age-old debate of whether an alligator or anaconda wins in the fight, because that's what we all need to know.
We got to see it from both sides. Because
We
Lake Placid is not in like the rainforest.
correct, correct. That's I think like the New England area once again, right? Isn't it New England?
I don't know. I've never seen any of these.
I mean, there is a Lake Placid. That is
Sure.
that is a real lake, I believe. So, yeah, you haven't seen any of these?
No.
Wow.
Again, the preview for the first one looked dumb as shit, and I'm like, no. When did it come out?
1999.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was done. At that point, I was like, I don't care. Unless it was like really good looking or like very well reviewed, I didn't give a shit. So like this movie coming out, like, oh, it's fucking alligators attacking a small town. Yeah, I could give less of a shit. So by the time I got back into horror films, like, you know, whatever, a decade and a half later, yeah, I didn't care. There was like 10 of them and I'm like, I don't even want to start.
Yeah, I mean, I personally love the first one. It's Bill Pullman. So, but yeah,
You a
that's
big
what
fan of Independence Day?
yes. Not
Okay.
the second one. But yeah, so that's what we'll be doing. We'll be in Lake Placid for the next 2 episodes. So remember, we watch bad movies, so you don't have to. And this has been Graveyard saying, have you checked on the children?
Salem saying, long live the new flesh.